Hello, everyone. Welcome to A Couple of Sassholes podcast. I'm Brooklyn Johnson.
And I'm Heather Terry.
And for anyone who doesn't know, this is our power hour of true crime where we talk about fucked up people doing fucked up shit, usually for fucked up reasons or sometimes no reasons at all.
That is accurate.
That is how we do.
Yeah.
And that is what we do.
That is how we do what we do. This
when
is how we do
sit
it.
in these chairs.
Montel Jordan. Do you remember that song? This is how we do it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't listening to you because I was speaking and I was trying to think about what I was saying. And you kept rattling. And then you're like, do you not know what that is? And I'm like, of course I fucking know what that was.
Just making sure.
I'm an 80s baby. Which I don't feel like an 80s baby. I'm a 90s, whatever. That's what I don't get. Like, you're an 80s kid because I was born in 87. But it's like, bitch, I was 3 when I said goodbye. When I bid the 80s adieu.
I know. I was
and
5.
my real memories are the fucking 90s, man.
The 90s are the best.
90s
Let's
were
go back
shit.
to a simpler time. With Surge and Fruitopia, Tamagotchis, and Troll Dolls.
What a time.
What a time to be alive.
It was a good time.
And Teen Vogue. Where
no fucking phones.
No phone.
No fucking phones, man. Freedom. We came home when the street lights came on.
Oh my.
Or when I heard the dinner bell.
Did y'all really have a dinner bell?
Of course we did. We were the Maples.
True.
We had a really nice dinner bell, and it was right on the side of the garage. I hope she's still there.
That checks.
Anytime we'd come home, they'd ring it.
I love that.
And then we'd always find out they know whenever we went too far outside of the district of the bell ringing zone when we still didn't come back. And they didn't think, oh, a pedophile got our little baby Brooklyn. They were like, these motherfuckers left the zone. And we did all the time. When I think about how far we rode our bicycles, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I was fucking 20 miles away. I was over there in Kentucky. Living in fucking Indiana. Don't worry, I crossed the money-saving bridge.
That's what I was
on my
say.
Schwinn.
God damn it. That's
on
what
my motherfucking Schwinn.
I was like, don't interrupt her. Don't interrupt her. And then you said it.
Tried to take the joke.
It's like a little kid just let go of their balloon. I'm like,
get it.
There it goes.
Oh,
I know.
it's too fast.
You know what else people are doing? Letting go of their
What?
inhibitions when they tell us things now.
Yes.
Did you like that segue?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I was trying to sneak it on in.
Yeah.
People just come up and just tell us. They just tell us stuff and like crazy and like about their. I do love it.
I love to hear about it, and I'm always like, I try to remember like what was the BH portion of my life, like what was the before Heather. Like what happened before that? Did people tell me crazy shit before, or was this a new development when we became one? When we became a united couple of sassholes.
Right.
What happened before that? And I feel like people still told me a lot of shit because I kind of have that vibe where I'm like, tell me.
Yes.
I would like to know.
I love when people just tell me random nonsense or like wild stuff. Like, hey, did you hear about this case? Like people I haven't talked to since high school send me links and stuff. Like,
people also, when they're drunk, ripping cigs outside of bars, they're also like, Heather. I don't know that's your name, but I'm going to learn it. Heather. My husband hasn't gone down on me in 14 years.
Who told me that?
I feel like every time you've ever called me drunk at a bar when you're out of town,
people tell me weird shit.
This girl, Leanne, she just came up to me and she told me that her husband ain't gone down on her in 14 years, Brooklyn. And I'll be like, what? And you're like, 14 years. Their dog Cletus got hit by a car back in March and they've been torn apart over it. Everyone tells you everything.
They do tell me a lot of stuff.
And always about 3 inches more than what you really needed.
Oh, I mean, all of the inches.
Yeah, so we got a fun story yesterday.
Yes,
that was weird. I'm going to let you.
You think so?
I should have Googled it. After you guys hear it, like I should have Googled it to try to understand the science.
I was like, she'll look at research and development.
It was late yesterday and
okay.
I just didn't.
No excuses needed. It's fine.
No, now I have to look. But I'm also afraid to do it on my phone. Anyway, carry on.
Right. So apparently there is a boudoir trend where
boudoir, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll say that. That sounds so much sexier than what this is, but.
Well, yeah.
There's a kink.
It can be torn apart whenever I get done talking. So apparently her husband likes to fuck her in the butt.
Yep.
And then R. Kelly
Which means urinate.
in the butthole.
Right.
And
Fuck
then-
the butthole and pee in it.
And then she hops in the shower, which I'm assuming all of this takes place in the bathroom.
No, I
And
don't
then-
think it does.
Well, she
Oh,
said,
you're right. How do you?
and then apparently, you know how when a whale, I'm going to look at Jess. So, you know, when a whale goes above water and goes and blows that, apparently it's a little pee shower and he likes it. I'm going to repeat that. So butt stuff, pee stuff, explosion. Like,
It's more like a geyser, right?
yeah, Old Faithful,
Yeah.
whole faithful.
Yes. I have wondered since we heard this, which was
24 hours ago.
literally to the hour.
Yeah.
It has tantalized my brain in lots of ways.
It's definitely an earworm. It got in
Yes.
there and it will not get out.
I think I just need to look at like the anus and where the butt and the intestines are.
You're talking about like anatomy. I thought
Anatomy. No, I just need to look at the anus.
I was like,
if
why
I
are
see
you
the butthole, if I see the brown star, I'll be able to figure out what happens to the. No, I'm really curious about where that pee goes.
Like, do you hold it in?
I don't think I could clench
It's like
my
if you-
butt enough to hold liquid.
But if it's
That's
like,
just like gravity.
I picture filling up a water balloon. And then you have to hold it shut, and then let the water balloon go.
That makes sense.
I mean, science.
Yeah, but I understand being able to like hold in a poops, but
Yeah.
like holding in liquid, I
mean-
don't know. And then does all the pee get out, or does it get stuck in the little waves of the? That's what I can't stop thinking about.
That's your
These
brain.
are the things that are ruining my soul. If it goes up, how far into the
I love that you go like this.
because it's like that, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what the fucking intestines look like. That's your butthole. You put it up in there, and then I just feel like you're gonna get an infection, or like, yeah,
I don't know.
like that's like a not good thing in your insides.
It sounds. I was like, but isn't urine sterile? But
Is it?
I mean, I think so. I watched a whole reality show about people
Yeah?
drinking their own
Oh,
pee.
yeah.
They washed their face with it. They got
The
kicked
fuck?
Yeah, they got kicked out of their house. Okay, so they drank their own pee.
I don't know where we are anymore.
I
I,
know,
don't
I'm
even know
sorry.
if this is a true crime podcast.
No, I
or
just tell
what?
you. Yeah, this is urination station.
Yes.
So
And I have pulled up and I'm ready to go.
yeah, okay. So they drink their own pee. They would leave it like he would pee in jars and
Okay.
and they would leave it around their house open. And the mom, he lived with his mom and his girlfriend or his wife or whatever. And his mom was like, quit leaving jars of piss around my house.
If I had to fucking ever say that.
And then I know I was like, and then they're outside and they're just laying in lawn chairs because their parents were loaded and like living on like by the bay. Like,
Dude, pissing in cups and leaving it around your house has to be a rich people
they
thing.
wash their face with it. They bathe with it. They go in the middle in the water and they just dump it on them. And that's how they shower. They think it makes them young. They ask for a skincare regimen. She's like, oh, and she just starts taking piss. I'm like,
I'm out of it. Anyway,
wow.
I guess if you okay. All right. Do your thing. Do your thing.
Yeah.
I will say this is where the story started. The moral of it is A, keep telling me and Heather all of these crazy things because we love to talk about it and have a location to speak on it.
Right. It's our platform.
It is our
to share everyone's stories.
Yeah. So A, keep telling us.
Yes.
B, it is questionable as to what happens to the urine if you get it shot up your butthole.
What if somebody listening?
And C, you can or cannot put urine on your face.
Right. I will not be participating in any of that.
Oh yeah, and D, I don't want a part of any of it except for you guys telling me stories.
Yeah. Tell us all you want. We won't judge, but we will.
I don't think I want. No,
We will giggle.
I'm cool,
Oh, tell me whatever.
and I do not want to get peed in my butt.
That is not on my Terrytown bucket list.
Yeah,
I do not want to get peed in my butt.
I
That's
don't
what
want to get peed in my butt. I don't want
is that a sentence
someone
you
to
ever
pee in my butt.
when we started this podcast, did
Yes.
you think
I-
at one point
yes.
you would say, I don't want to get peed in my butt?
Yes, I'm never. There's nothing I've ever said in front of you that I'm shocked I've said it.
That's very true.
So yeah, the answer is
Okay.
yes. I'm excited for you to entertain me with a story today.
Oh, well, I happen to have one.
That
right
so
here.
exciting. I always like that while we're sitting here, you hide it in a place that I can't see it. So I'm always like, did she remember it's her turn?
I know. One time we'd be like, okay, go.
I will.
No, I do it
Shit
because of the
myself.
fan, and I don't want it to blow away.
To fly around.
Yeah. All
Thank you.
willy-nilly.
Thank goodness. What would we do? It would be an issue if it was mine because I always forget to number the pages. I don't understand my personality type. I can be so fucking type A and then just like fall right off the fucking.
I love when you say,
Not remember to do a damn page number on a multiple file document.
that is very unbroken.
Trash.
I love when you
Fucking
say, you're like, yeah, but my type anus, and it sounds like tight anus every time you say it.
My tight anus is the reason for a lot of things.
Oh my God, too much butthole talk. All right, here we go.
Let's go.
This is a story. I had a story because, per usual me, I
Per
changed
us.
it last minute because I was like, this story's good, but I saw this one randomly when I couldn't sleep, and I was like, I want to do that. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. This is a story of the murder of Brad McGarry. Any bells ringing? No? Okay.
No,
great.
but I went to McGarry Middle School.
Oh.
So fun fact.
Fun fact.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, sources, Dateline, season 32, episode 8. I recommend everyone watch this if you're interested in it because there's a lot of videos.
Dateline's the tits, man.
I fucking love it. But they show a lot of the footage and 911 calls and all that stuff. So if you're into that, I watch it. Yahoo.com, Oxygen.com. There was a bunch of court documents from SupremeCourt.ohio.gov. What are you doing?
Heather's doing her works cited page, and I was like, I'm going to take a post for social. There's no way in hell she won't see it. I'm just going to do it. See how long you can do it before she says something. I made it there. That's how far I made it for any. I was like, Jess will make sure to cut me out. So just fucking around over here.
Okay. Brad McGarry lived in Bellaire, Ohio, which is like a small coal mining town in the Ohio River Valley. The population stays roughly around 4,000 people, so definitely not huge. And everybody knows everybody type of place.
Ooh.
A majority of the people that live in or around that area work at the coal mines. So, and a majority males. For those of you who aren't familiar with what it's like to be a coal miner.
Ooh, tell us. I love Education Station. Tell me.
They usually work underground in dusty, dark, confined spaces with big machinery, explosives. It's physically demanding, and it's very dangerous because there's usually one way in, one way out. There's gases and shit can happen.
You can just collapse on you.
Yeah. A lot of the employees made six figures, though, because they were paid for their risk.
Paid for the fact that you might die and your family is going to be without you.
Right. This is what first drew Brad McGarry to leave his job for the coal miner life. So let me tell you a little bit about Brad. I want to tell you about Brad because he looks like a big teddy bear.
His name's Brad.
Mm-hmm.
Brad's a good name.
He's a big teddy bear. Big country teddy bear.
Was this his Tinder profile? That'd be giving me that give me Tinder vibes.
Yeah.
That'd be giving me Tinder vibes.
Yeah.
That underneath it definitely says, I like to go fishing on my time off.
Right? Yes.
He looks like he would talk sweet to you.
Oh, yeah. He's precious.
You're like, he's the murderer. He killed 5 children. I'm like, he looks like he'd be sweet.
No, everybody loved him. He had a huge personality and was unapologetically himself all the time, which I encourage and love about people. And he left his job as a hairstylist to make more money at the mines.
He was a hairstylist?
He was an openly gay.
He was gay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in a career where you would think it's not welcomed.
In haircutting?
No, as a coal miner.
Oh, it's like, honey.
No.
I go, I don't know if you knew this, but if you're a hairdresser, yes, that is one sign
right
that you are gay. Okay, I don't know that I would have guessed that because he is coal miner, you know.
That's why I didn't tell you he left his job until then.
Sassy.
I know, I love it. Isn't he cute? I love him.
He is cute.
Yeah, and normally you wouldn't think that it was welcomed, but in this case it was.
What year?
This was 2015.
It should be fucking welcome.
Yeah, I know, but
we are past.
I know you think small towns, coal miners.
Yes,
you know,
but I'm just
stereotypically
right.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna be combative on it.
By the time that Brad was 43 years old,
43 is that? Sorry, I'm sucking. I'm sucking And I know it. Sorry.
She's like, I have coffee with the glass straw. I'm going to take selfies with it, and then I'm going to interrupt you. I made it 9 cents.
I know. I'm sorry. That photo you gave me, was that him 43?
Mm-hmm.
Good skincare.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry. I thought he was 23, 24. Like,
No,
there's
he
a
looks
reason
very
why
young.
I'm allowed to interrupt Heather, is because you'll see the photo because it'll pop up again. And you'll be
Yes.
like, yeah, he did not look 43.
Oh, he did
so
not,
You've
yeah.
thrown a lot of shock and awe. His
Yeah.
age and that he was gay.
Right.
I'll now stop until you get to the next page.
Next sentence. Okay. He had gotten promoted by the time he was 43 to foreman down in the mines, and things were going well. He was being paid well. He didn't have to hide who he was, which, like I said, was the opposite of what I would expect. One of his coworkers on Dateline was saying that he would crack jokes about, like, oh, you look nice in them jeans today. And, like, he would always wear cologne, and he dressed well, even though he was underground and dirty. And the guy on there was like, none of us gave a crap what we looked like, but he always looked nice. Like, he always made sure he had cologne on, and we're like, dude, we're in a coal mine. He's like, I don't care. Like,
Oh, sweet baby.
yeah. So even 2,000 feet under the ground, run around
I
smelling
mean, there
nice.
ain't no reason not to be smelling fresh to death.
Right.
Damn.
In the afternoon on a Sunday in May of 2017, a panicked woman called 911 about her friend and was screaming. Sherry Kinney was so upset, and I listened to the 911 call, and it's bad. It's on Dateline. She was screaming and saying that she means her husband David Kinney and their 13-year-old daughter Elizabeth came to visit their husband's friend. The back door was cracked open, so when he didn't answer the phone, they went inside and they saw blood everywhere and saw someone laying on the bathroom or the basement floor. And sadly, that was Brad McGarry.
Aw.
Yeah.
Bradley.
The officer who responded to the scene said he had to console all 3 of them, and they were devastated. And I watched the footage of this, and they're losing their minds. David is yelling that that's his best friend, and he's sobbing. And they got 13-year-old Elizabeth to the neighbor's house because she was traumatized.
I wonder
she
why.
called him Uncle Brad. So,
Right.
yeah. And then the wife was crying, saying they were getting ready to go on vacation together. They celebrated holidays together, so it hit him pretty hard. David had met Brad when they were in training becoming coal miners years ago, so he was like another member of their family. The officer went down in the basement and saw Brad lying face down on the floor with a gunshot wound to the head. There was no sign of a struggle, so they had to rule out that he took his own life, but that wasn't the case. They rolled him over to see if there was a weapon under him or something, and there wasn't one. So it got ruled a homicide. They canvassed the area to see what everybody knew, and then back then, I know it was just a few years ago, but Ring doorbells and cameras were just coming out, like home security systems, so it wasn't as common, but one neighbor did have it, and it turned out to be the Bellaire chief of police. So obviously it was
That worked out.
Yeah, it was easy to get. The whole town was scared, and they were also mourning the loss of Brad because everyone knew him and loved him there. They started interviewing everyone so they could piece together like who and why. Like they didn't understand.
Right.
They wanted to know if it was like just a random attack, but there was no signs of struggle down in the basement. Upstairs, all the cabinets and drawers looked like somebody was looking for something. There was stuff scattered everywhere. His best friend David had told the police that there was a crew working on his fence. So maybe they saw, that he has some valuables in the house. Maybe that something happened there.
I'm always so flabbergasted when people are like, oh, but they have valuables. But the fuck?
Right.
The fuck?
Right.
I totally get the valuables. Like, okay, you now have a motive to be robbed. I would say most homes have a motive to be robbed.
Right.
Because there's going to be a TV.
Yeah.
Bare Menzies, you're talking about a TV.
Yeah.
And probably a computing device. You could steal and get some money. But they're like, but whenever they just are, when it like goes to robbery, it's just like, I feel like, I don't know the stats, so I can't really say this with confidence, but I just don't feel like robbery where they kill someone is like a high number.
Yeah, they said that maybe like
I
he
look.
interrupted a robbery in progress and then they panicked or something. Another friend said later that it would be shocking that they didn't steal anything if it was a robbery. So he had a lot of valuables and Apple products. But another thing about Brad is that, and I'm going to show you this photo, he was very into antiques. Like, look at his house. And they made a joke and said that his friends called his house Cracker Barrel and said it was country chic because he had all those antiques and decor everywhere. Plus, he did have a lot of like Apple products and things that most people would steal.
Looks like Like, I'm blown away that this is a gay man's home.
Right. Yeah, he was into it, and they made
I
jokes
totally
with him,
get it.
Yeah. He liked antiques. He liked what he liked.
Once more, I get it.
Yeah.
But I would never envision
Mm-hmm.
in any scenario that was his house.
Right. It kind of shocked me too.
I'm more blown away by that than anything
One of his
else.
other friends, yeah, they were like, yeah. Well, she goes, oh yeah, because he had all kinds of valuables in Cracker Barrel, and the guy was like interviewing, was like, what do you mean Cracker Barrel? I'm like, that's what we call his house.
Yeah.
And so that was ruled out, and then they had to look and see if it might be a hate crime. And like I said, Brad never hid who he was, and no one seemed to take any of it seriously when he joked around with them, but they thought maybe someone got pissed off and retaliated.
So dumb too.
Right.
They're like, he had to have been robbed, or
Yeah.
he said someone looked really nice one day and they took it wrong.
Right.
That's so dumb.
The police discovered that a former detective from their squad actually worked at the mines with Brad. He left the police department, went there. So they had an insider scoop to what was happening and all the gossip and stuff. And the guy was like, yeah, it helped us sift through all the bull crap because everybody wanted to put their 2 cents in.
Of course.
And, oh, I heard this or I saw this. And they were like, well, used to be a detective, so we're going to ask him.
If somebody got murdered in our office, which would be in my home, so I hope that doesn't happen. But like, if in an office environment, I would have so much to say. At any time in my entire career, if someone would have gotten murdered within my office environment, I would have had so much to say.
Oh,
I would have been like, give me a room with that. Get me a room with that detective right now.
Right.
I have some things to tell you. Here's a list.
Yes.
I want to show you.
Make sure there's good lighting. So when I talk to Keith Morrison, I look cute.
I need you to know.
Right.
On June 2nd, they fought. He fought with Barbara next to the vending machine.
Right.
She didn't clean out the fridge during her time, which apparently is a real thing in offices that people get upset about.
She ate his yogurt and it was labeled clearly.
And I never understand that people are eating other people's food. I'm also blown away that there's like, clean the fridge schedules. The things that tear me up at night.
Right.
All right. Carry on, my friend.
So once they talked to the former detective, they confirmed that everybody there liked him, so it couldn't have been a coworker. So we have a staged robbery with nothing taken, no angry coworkers, and then they had to go back to square one again. They're basically just rolling shit out at this point. They went back to the people that were closest to him and wanted to see, well, maybe he was dating somebody or something. Sherry and David told them about a relationship that Brad had with a guy named Scotty. That ended poorly a few weeks before. So they tracked down Scotty. And he was immediately ruled out because he was jailed at the time for a parole violation. So he said that, and he was visibly upset whenever he said we kind of were on and off and we broke up, but he was upset whenever he found out that Brad was killed.
Wasn't upset about that parole violation.
Brad's cousin Skylar was brought in and had mentioned that they had a family brunch on that Sunday morning on May 7th. So the day that he died. He told Skylar that he was going to leave that afternoon and go, quote, take a nap, which was their family's inside joke for going to get some sexy time. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to go take a nap.
That's a good way to put it.
Right. They were like, what? And she goes, he didn't even stay for dessert. He just like kind of backed out and was like, bye.
I got to go.
Yeah.
There's some deal. Calling my name.
He said he told her I got a text from somebody named DJ asking to hook up. And Skylar's like, I don't really know him, but their relationship had been going on for years. And Brad was clearly in love with DJ. They said he would drop everything. He would rearrange his schedules for DJ. And Brad was saying that the feelings were mutual. And then another one of Brad's cousins was like, who the fuck is this DJ? Because they started talking to each other.
Yeah.
And gave them the scoop. And I watched her interview and she said, well, I didn't know his name till I went on Facebook. And it's some guy that they call DJ, but his name is David Kinney. David Kinney, or DJ short for David Jr., is also the best friend who found Brad's body with his wife and 13-year-old daughter, David Kinney.
Oh, shit! Ooh, that's some juicy ribeye.
Right. Like,
right there.
Whoa.
See, and this is the reason I'm always asking Travis if he wants to fuck a man. This is that shit, man. This is that shit that puts snakes in my brain of men fucking other men privately.
They brought David.
fucks my head up.
You want to see a picture of him?
I just come over to your house to see you and just realize that like Will's there with Travis or some shit. Like I can't get past it.
This is David Kinney.
So that okay. So okay.
What?
I'm having such a hard time with this.
Here, Jess, can you see it?
So he was.
I'm gonna keep going.
Oh man!
I was like, she's gonna have so many questions. I'm gonna have to steamroller and keep going.
Woo! Steamroll me right now.
So the lady's saying this to the police officer, and she's like, "Yeah, it's this guy named DJ, and it's short for David Jr. It's David Kinney or something." The guy's like, "What?" Because on the video,
oh my God, and they take vacations together.
He's crying. He's like on the video, he's sobbing. That's my best friend. And apparently, before the cop left, they said, "Go home, get some rest. You guys are traumatized, whatever." He rolled down his window and like grabbed him by the shirt and was like, "That's my best friend in there. You find out who did this."
Yeah, that sounds very sexual.
Like, and the cop was like, I don't know if
that'd be my first.
I actually just exaggerated that for emphasis.
Unless you're gonna kiss me, don't grab my shirt. Right? If you grab my shirt, I'm gonna hit you in the face. Right? If I grabbed your fucking shirt right now in any environment, you'd be like, either fucking make out with me.
I wouldn't say that. I'm talking about best friends secretly.
I know.
And you're like, if I grab your shirt, that means you better tell me.
I know that's what you want. You want me to make out with you.
That's why I started the whole podcast.
Or we're going to punch each other in the face.
That's right. We're fucking or fighting. That's why I started this whole fucking
way. It's the only way, man.
It's the only way.
Just saying.
God.
Can't be grabbing people's shirts.
You know that I just threw that in there for emphasis. I don't remember if it really...
I'm over here so rowdy. I was like, he grabbed the dude. I would have thought it was weird.
Yeah. No, I don't know. He did roll down the window, but in my head, he was like, listen.
Well,
so anyway,
my
bad. Okay. So they brought David Kinney in, and he came on in. They were like, "Hey, bring your phone," and he was like, "Yeah, here you go. Take my phone." And so while he was being interviewed, they were like rooting around in his text messages down the hall. Obviously, he probably deleted some shit. David was still in mourning. He was crying the second they started asking him questions, and he didn't know he was a suspect at this point. He was just sitting there like distraught about his friend, and they were kind of just letting him think that that's how it was. Down the hall, they found some deleted texts, and they discovered that they were way more intimate than anyone knew, and had been for a long time.
Oh shit! How long? Tell me.
I don't.
Is his daughter his?
No. That anatomy doesn't work.
I saw you have to think about it.
I was like, what? No.
I watched your brain process that.
Wonderboy Media is not only the proud producer of this glorious magic imploring your ear holes right now, but they're also a big deal.
Get in touch with them today to make all of your dreams a freaking reality.
From using their bangin' ass podcast studio,
where we are right now,
to creating amazing videos and editing our content like the mystical mavericks they are.
Your podcast can go further when you have a Wonder Boy.
Hit up Drew today at WBOYmedia.com.
Or text him day or night at 270.
Just kidding.
Okay, when they confront him about it, he changed up what he'd been saying about this just friend stuff. So they were like, "Did you all have sex?" And he said, quote, "Well," and this took like 45 seconds to say, but I'm going to speed it up. He said, "Well, there was a few times in the past where, you know, he attempted a lot and we've kind of fooled around a little bit in the past." And the cop's like, "Okay, well, when was the last time?" He's like, "I mean, it's been a while. I mean, weeks or months max." And they're like, "What?" It's been a while. And he's like, weeks or a month max.
So have you ever heard of Homie Head? I know you saw that on TikTok.
No.
I hate that I saw it.
What is it?
They're like, okay. Have you, Jess? Oh, I hate when I'm solo now. Okay, they call it like, it was a fucking TikTok where it's this dude that's like, yo, I think it was a TikTok. It was one of the socials. And he's like, yo, let's start normalizing homie head. Like, you're stressed out. I'm stressed out. It's not a big deal. Just suck my dick. And then we can both put, like, no, it's not gay. We can both pull up our fucking pants, be more relaxed, and go home. And I was like, I sent that to Travis, and I go, and this is the shit. This is the fucking shit. But yes, this whole thing that you're like, we're not gay. We just like to suck each other's cacks.
Oh my God.
So anyway, that's this. His response is making me feel a lot like somehow he was like, dude, I was a little stressed out. My friend kept rubbing on my leg.
Right.
And
Okay.
I was like, stop. And I was like, higher.
Oh my God.
That's what I feel like he tried to imply was
He
the first
did.
time.
Okay. So he said that bullshit, and Brad's time of death was between 3 and 3:30 when he was supposed to meet up with DJ. And they were like, okay, David, well, where were you all Sunday afternoon? And he was like, well, we went to get lunch at Chinese, and then we went home, and then I went to look at truck trailers, and I headed back home again. Right? And they were like, what time? He's like, I think it was about 3. I'm like, oh, you just happened to be home right at the time where he was at. His dumbass forgot that they had his phone, and it pinged right by Brad's house. So he lived 30 miles away from Brad's house. And they tell him, and through tears, he changed his story yet again. David's like, okay, well, I was there. I went to his house, and he wasn't there. So I just hung around for a little bit, and I left because he never showed up. And they're like,
then why didn't you say that?
yeah, David definitely didn't know that Brad's neighbor was the police chief who had camera facing the street up the road. When they reviewed that footage, it showed David's wife's car heading to Brad's around 2, and at 2:56, Brad drives by. 15 minutes later, you see David clearly driving away, like in the car solo, and they're like, bro, like, we know that was you. So then he's like, okay, well, let me tell you what happened.
Oh my jeez.
I know. He said, well, I didn't shoot him, but I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. And the cop on there, he was like, and that's when the wheels fell off.
Sounds like it.
And David is like, yes, okay, I was there. But Brad pulled up, right? And he had another guy that was riding in the passenger seat of his car when he pulled up. And he was like, I don't know. He was crying on this one. He's like, I don't know who he was. I didn't know his name. And he looked dirty. And I was so scared. And they went in the basement, and I just heard a gunshot. The police are like, dude.
Then you would have,
Yeah.
you would
Like, and they were like, why did he looked dirty and I didn't know his name or who he was. And the police are like, okay, stop lying. We saw Brad's car. Here's a picture of it. Brad had been at a wedding on Saturday night. So his car was packed full of shit from the wedding. You couldn't sit in the passenger seat. Like, his car had wedding supplies all in it. So they were like, you're lying again.
His wedding? Like, what
He
the
went
fuck?
to his cousin's wedding and stayed the night
I'm
at the
like,
family.
jeez, what
Yeah.
the fuck was in your car?
Yeah. So like they were like, no, there's no way anyone could sit in the car. So you're lying again. Okay. Here comes like story number 4 or 5. I don't even know where he's at this point.
Okay.
David calmed down. He's like, okay, Brad had been wanting me to leave Sherry for a while now. He wanted them to be together. And David said he had showed up there to end it with him. And Brad didn't take it very well. He's like, he smacked me around a little bit, and then he pulled out a pistol. David said he grabbed the gun, he pushed him, and then he shot him in the head for self-defense. When he demonstrated, they were like, well, show me what happened. And they showed it on the video. And he said it was like right here on the top of the head. If you're trying to do that in self-defense,
There's no way.
No. And
I say there's no way. I cannot think
I
of
mean,
every possible scenario.
it's
but I'm like,
unimaginable. It's unlikely.
it's almost like they're bent down and you shoot them when they're bent down. Like,
yeah, it's highly unlikely.
to get them on the top of the forehead is what Heather was pointing at.
Right. And so they arrested him and charged him with murder. And his request, he was like, okay, well, I want to tell Sherry. You don't let me talk to Sherry before you arrest me, his wife, because I want to tell her.
Yeah, I've been fucking my best friend.
So they were like, okay, let's keep them cameras rolling. Because at this point, they don't know if she knew about any of it or not. They don't know if she was involved. They didn't know if he was covering for her or anything. This poor woman comes in, and he's sitting there, and he's like, she's in shock. In shock. She's like, what do you mean? She goes, I can't even look at you. He never came out and said that they were fucking, but he alludes to the fact, and it takes him a minute. And then she's sitting there. She's like,
so he was like, he
was like, and he wanted me to leave you guys. He wanted us to be together. He wanted me, and I didn't want to leave you guys. And he pulled a gun. He pulled that. He kept saying the name of, like, he pulled the gun. He did it, and I got it away. And she's like, wait. I mean, think about how heartbroken. This poor lady has no idea that her husband's been fucking their family best friend for years, and then killed him. And then on top of that, knew he was dead and took her and his 13-year-old daughter to see dead Uncle Brad. Like, it's gross.
right.
Like, so
Like
gross.
he used them as a pawn
and
to provide an alibi in
Yep.
a scenario for him to literally
right.
fucking ruin their mental state.
Yeah. And she, terrible. And they had told the cops, he was like, no, we brought that weed eater by. That was their excuse. They were in town and they were going to let him borrow a weed eater. And then his wife was even like, well, we should call him. And he's like, well, we can go in and see if he's there. The door's cracked. So like he basically led them into that. And
wow. That'd be so hard.
I just can't imagine. She's like, I can't even look at you. And then whenever...
How long were they married?
For a while. I mean, their kids were 13, so I don't know how long, but they had 3 kids together.
Oh.
Yeah. And then she's like, you and the kids are my world, and she's freaking out, and it's heartbreaking. And then
you ruined her life in every capacity.
She's looking for her. She's like, I can't even look at you. And she's screaming, and then all of a sudden she stops, and she goes eerily calm. And she goes, how long? And he's like, what? And it's like, you can tell in her head she's thinking dark thoughts, like
she is about to take the pain and she's going to convert that food into fuel.
Yeah.
Called her rage.
Yeah. And you can see it. It gave me goosebumps watching it.
I fucking bet.
And then she's like, I want to know when the last time was. And her voice.
How long did he say?
He said it's been a while. That's all he would say. And like I just felt so bad. Even the cop was like, it was heartbreaking watching that from the outside. Like this lady had no clue and we had to prove that she had no clue.
Yeah.
And then she finds all this shit out and she's mad and sad and it's just awful.
That is awful.
So, okay. When David was arraigned, he pled not guilty to premeditated murder and aggravated murder, and they set his bail at $1 million.
Did they find out whose gun it was? Because that would have answered everything, right? Because he's saying that.
Yeah, there wasn't a gun there.
Right, but like ballistics, and if you had a gun, it would be registered, right? So the odds of everyone having the same type of gun.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because I was like, if he acted like, if it was DJ or Brad who grabbed the gun, then you would kind of know who had gotten the gun out based off of, did he come with it? Then that would have been premeditated.
Right. Yeah, they didn't really
see, and that's what sucks too, is if you have a gun on you and you're a carrier of a gun, it always looks premeditated because you always have a gun on you. Because you bring your gun with you.
Yeah. They never said, they didn't dive into it, but I don't think they had to. Because like everybody was
had to have been
all involved.
Or they don't even fucking mention it because it was a 9mm and DJ had them 9mm. And
right.
Like Brad didn't have a gun. Like for all I know, but.
I mean, it's a good point. But at this point, they were like, they pushed him into a corner and were like, there's no way you didn't do it. So.
Right.
But yeah. So his self-defense claim was bullshit to everyone because they think like Brad was either in this. They think that Brad was like, dude, you've been using me for too long. Like either you're going to be with me or not. And I'm going to tell you what, like that. Some of them think that he was like, well, I'll just tell Sherry. Like, but they don't know if that, nobody knows. Right. That's what sucks. They don't think, but I think that he just stood up for himself and was like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Like I'm in love with you. What am I doing? Like he was tired of being a side piece undercover, I guess.
Right. And like go on these vacations and knowing I can't be with you and I have to wait for your, fucking.
Right.
Stephanie to go to sleep or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Like I can only imagine.
Yeah. So he was that's what everybody thinks that he was.
That's what it's like. You always want to automatically act like somebody wants to tell, but it's like, what does he get out of, like, what would Brad have gotten out of blowing up their family when he was obviously so close to the family too?
Yeah.
Like he cared about them as well.
That was all speculation as far as that.
Right. Because that's the automatic places they're like, they're threatening with I know, like, you've been cheating. I'm going to tell the spouse. And it's just like,
right.
Maybe.
Or he said, if you don't leave her and tell her everything, I'm going to stop being with you. Maybe he said that and David got mad. Nobody knows. The only person that knows is David, and he ain't saying shit. He keeps saying all this.
And he's going to lie.
No one knows that but stupid fucking David. And he went to trial in January of 2018, still claiming that stupid fucking self-defense. It didn't take long to disprove this, though, considering that Brad was shot in the back of the head, not once, but twice.
Why did they do that?
Twice.
Why was that even a defense then?
Because he lied like 8 times.
I know, but that's a fact, right? Where he was shot was a fact.
They should have
never entertained the bullshit of. I don't know. That's the shit where it's like, how are you calling it self-defense when it was 2 gunshots to the back of the head?
I know.
Like, I don't. Oh man,
I get it. It's so dumb.
Shit pisses me off.
I know because when he's telling them this, I'm like, did you not think that they were gonna do an autopsy? Like they're gonna see it because when they showed, he walked up and showed him, but he also was talking about some dirty stranger. Like he's just talking out of his ass.
It's just that shit where it's just like, dude, did you not think about an ounce of this?
Right.
Did you think 1 gram
I don't
about
think
this
so.
because it's just done.
Yeah. Oh, I know. The jury deliberated for 4 hours and he was found guilty and got life without the possibility of parole. Although at his sentencing, he did apologize to everyone and he was showing remorse and all that during his final statement. I mean, that doesn't make up for the fact that he took sweet Brad's life and took him away from everyone. Like this guy, they showed like 5 or 6 people that they were like, he was my best friend. Like all the people, it broke my heart. Like all the people on the Dateline episode talking about him. Even one of the girls was like, they go, what do you think Brad think about this? Right? And she goes, oh, he loved attention. He's loving that I'm doing this show right now. They're like, they're like, he's up in heaven smiling. Like, yeah, you keep talking about me. Like, and it was cute to see that. And like one other family friend, her daughter came out as gay and he helped her through like a very dark suicidal time in her life in high school. And he was like, baby girl, keep that head up. Don't lose your shine. And you don't let that crown fall. And she was like, I think about that when I get sad. And I was like tearing up watching this stuff, like, you know, and Sherry Kinney, the wife, divorced this son of a bitch right after this. Thank goodness. And I can't imagine.
I feel bad for her.
I can't imagine the pain she's going through. She's probably still going through it to this day, and her daughter.
She used to go through it every day. She doesn't have the father to her kids.
Right. And Sherry did, though, find her another man. She got remarried, and she's focusing on moving forward and says that she's looking at the bright future. So she's good there. And that is the sad story of the murder of Brad McGarry by David Kinney, who killed him to keep his secret.
I think the worst secret is killing someone. Like if you're going to cover up a secret within a worse secret, you're probably not doing the math right.
The math ain't mathin'.
That math ain't mathin'. There ain't no point in killing somebody to hide then a secret.
If he wanted to get like he could have just talked to his wife and been like, this is what's up.
Oh yeah, because that'd be easy.
I know, but I mean, not
that
killing
would be hard.
somebody.
I don't blame. I can't say. Okay, the murder's bad.
Right. Yes,
murder
bad.
is bad.
Yes,
we all know that.
Yes.
But the whole concept of like, I could not fathom how hard that would be to be DJ. Like take murder out of it.
Just move away.
But like you just fall in love with your best friend, and now you're like, ladies, am I right? And then now you're trying to like, there's kids involved, all this shit.
Oh,
like,
it's very complicated.
Imagine.
But they could have worked around it without murdering.
Because I started thinking about this in the story. Would you, okay, this is going to suck either way.
Okay.
But Will sits you down. He's like, I've been having an affair for a year and I want to be with this person. I'm sorry, it's over.
Okay.
How would you feel if it was a man versus a female?
You know, I don't know.
I think
I would be less mad if it was a dude.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Like, it's weird to think
I
that,
know.
but like,
as I was sitting here thinking about it, I'm like,
I think I would
be more okay.
Because then it wouldn't be like I wasn't good enough. It's because
it's not my pussy.
I'm not a dude.
It's not my pussy. That's the problem. It's pussy in general.
You're like, oh, no wonder your throat used to swell up. You were allergic.
Right. I don't know. I don't think
I would. Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, you're into guys, so it's not my fault.
It's not my fault. Yeah, I think honestly, it would sting less.
It would sting less, but I don't think I could ever, like, I think my trust would then be shattered for life.
Yeah, he'd be like, I'm going to go grab a beer with the guys. I'd be like, I'm going.
Right.
Because you're not going down to Peckers and getting penis colossuses.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's your friend Jeremy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show me a picture.
Let's FaceTime him. The first question I'm going to be like, have you ever had a dick in your ass? That, like, I would do interviews to every guy friend of my future guys in the future.
Oh, yeah. Future guys of the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd be like, have you ever whale blowhole pee out of your butt in the shower?
I don't want to know that. Have your own kinks, man. That's okay. I just want to know if there's a chance that you're going to leave me for a guy.
That's always should be on the interview questionnaire.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just curious. I think it would hurt less. I think I'd be so devastated if Travis was like, her name's Emily. I met her here. And I'm like, you're both going to die. I say and then laugh. I could not cope. No.
Yeah, no.
But I'm like,
So
if it's
anyway.
Jeremy, then I guess it's fucking Jeremy.
Yeah. You're like, well, I don't have a wiener, so
Yeah.
I
feel
can't
like I could have
compete.
done the strap-ons. I've always wanted to peg. I'm kidding. Heather's like, oh my God, Brooklyn's ready to peg somebody. Like,
Oh my God, please isolate that. I just need
and
that.
I say somebody, Travis is over there like, if you're pegging anybody, it's me.
This is going downhill.
Travis does not want to be pegged. I just have to say
There's
that.
lots of decorations.
I'm making a lot of peg jokes. I would never do that. But I'm also like, dude, if you want dick, I can try to provide you dick.
I'm going to let you keep digging this hole. It's fine.
Dude, I don't even know. I don't think I can get out of it anymore.
You can't.
I think I'm just going to keep jumping up, trying to grab the ledge, and I'm not going to get it.
You're stuck in the well. Okay. Well, if
Yeah.
you want more of this.
All this greatness.
Yeah.
Don't
'Cause
forget
this is
to-
actually the edited version. So the other ones even, we just say whatever the fuck we want. We kind of say whatever
I mean,
the
we
fuck
say
want
whatever
here.
the fuck we want in both. The difference in the edited version is we aren't so fucking all over the place. I'm not dropping lipstick in coffee cups and shit. I'm pretty sure that's the only difference. I don't think she bleeps out our crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty
The
sure that
episodes
is the
would-
episode.
It would be 4 minutes long. We'd have to switch to just TikTok podcast and you wouldn't know any story.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But any hooser.
Like, rate, review, subscribe.
Yes.
All of those things help us.
Yes.
Help us help you, help us helping you.
That's right.
I don't know what I said.
That's right, though.
And then hop on the Patreon.
Yeah, do that.
Do the Patreon, man.
If you don't want to sign up for a monthly subscription, which you should,
Yeah.
then you can just buy a video
Yeah.
because that's
We're doing some weird shit coming up. We got some weird shit. We got some jail like shit. Some jail shit.
What?
I ain't gonna tell you nothing. This is clickbait. Fucking setting this up for people to be like, what kind of jail shit they do?
I know, me too. I'm like, do I have to click on it?
It was your idea, so it makes sense that we talked about it yesterday and you don't remember it in the slightest.
That's-
and you're like,
Oh,
what
I
are you
do know.
talking?
I do know.
Anyway, guys, don't forget, don't get mad.
Get sassy.
We love you so much.
We love you. Bye.
Bye.
This episode was sponsored, edited, and produced by Wonderboy Media. Get the deets at WBOYmedia.com to see how you can make your podcast dreams a reality.
Help us out and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to our audio project. Don't forget, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at, of course, A Couple of Sassholes.
Want more sass? Become a member of our Patreon for bonus content, merch, and more. Plus, we're on Cameo now, so there's even more ways to get the sass you need just how you like it. As always, don't get mad.
Get sassy.
Theodore, can I pet that dog?